Hello everyone, it's Deej and I'm back with another video. This video is on Dynasty Warriors Origins. It's finally here, one I've been really excited about, and I'm glad to finally get my hands on it. Now, if you're wondering how to get really high kill counts really early on in the game, this is the video for you. I've just discovered a way of getting, I got 3,000 in my last run, but I think this can go on forever. The enemies infinitely spawn. So I'm going to show you in this video how to get really high KO counts. Skirmish mission you want to find is called Capture the Base. Now, I know this doesn't work on all Capture the Base missions. I think it is specific missions, but I was able to do this on a mission level 5, a Knight Errant level 5 mission, and the enemies just kept on spawning. So find yourself a capture of the base mission and jump right in. Now the first thing you will notice is that there's an enemy base health bar. Now if you probably already know this, but defeating enemies brings the enemy base health down. But the only way to fully clear out a base is to defeat all of the attached officers. So you'll see at the bottom of that bar, although it's going down, you'll see there's a red icon. That is the officer icon. So that means there's an officer alive, or this officer hasn't been defeated in this base, and until that officer's been defeated, this base will remain active. Now in some cases this bar reaches the bottom and the enemies stop spawning, but in many cases, such as this one here, enemies will continuously spawn as long as that officer stays alive. So that's the key here, keep that officer alive. So some ideas here: obviously you can bring very strong weapons to clear out the enemies as quick as possible, but you need to be careful not bringing a weapon that's too strong, because you might kill the officer accidentally in a hit or two, ending this whole thing. But one of the things I did notice, and this isn't confirmed, this is just what I've noticed: if you keep the officer out of view, so behind you, out of view, my attacks didn't seem to harm it very often. So the officer was sort of not in view, wasn't spawned in, wasn't sort of a physical object in the space. I was able to continue doing this for a very long time, as you'll see. So as long as the officer's alive, I don't know how long this can actually go on for. I got to 3,000 and stopped because I thought that I'd be here all day, but I'm really not sure how long this goes on for. So the enemies will spawn from a predetermined spawn point, and you'll find yours pretty early on because that's where the enemies are coming from. You can stick around that area, but what I like to do to keep things less boring, and obviously keep moving with the officer in mind and not hitting him, I stayed in a circular motion attacking enemies just like this, using abilities, getting my mastery up, getting proficiency up, and racked up kills pretty quickly. The only time where there was a bit of an issue is when I left too many enemies sort of spread out, and all you have to do is go and clear them up individually. So I just got 1,000 there. But yeah, all you have to do is go around finding those enemies, clear them up individually. I think there's a threshold to the number of enemies that can be in the base before reinforcements arrive, and you just need to keep that number as low as possible. Now, I don't know if there's bigger bases, more area, more enemies in other bases later on in the game for further in, but this is what I found early on. So obviously let me know in the comments if there's places where you can get multiple spawn points, multiple officers for an enemy base to make this even easier or more efficient. It didn't take me that long. I think overall it took 10 minutes to get to 3,000, but obviously with better weapons and more familiarity with the game, you can rack those numbers up quite quickly. Your only limits obviously are how strong your weapon are and how quickly the enemies spawn. So you see there, I just hit 3,000 and decided, yeah, I've had enough, and I defeated the officer, who was taking hits throughout. They were definitely taking hits throughout, but I did have good grasp on how much health they had throughout, and avoided them as much as possible. Many of my skills are forward facing, forward hitting, and I didn't want to have anything that was sort of an AoE. So here's my rewards. I obviously got a proficiency level for my sword, not that great. I think it was like 6,000 total points or something along those lines, but 112 skill points this early on. Very useful, and I was able to use that to level up some of these abilities here as well. Many people obviously wouldn't necessarily like these sort of farming methods in a sense, but I found it quite fun. It's Dynasty Warriors. It's the whole idea of the game is to get as many kills as possible. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.